What's up, everybody, man? Welcome back for another FishReel, man. Today, I'm joined by my guy, man, Mr. Power. We're going to be talking to all things Power Book 3, Raising Kanan Season 4 and beyond. My boy, Mr. Power, how we feeling today, man?
Good, blessed and highly favored, man. You?
Same, likewise, bro. Blessed and highly favored, man. What a season we had for ourselves with Season 4, man. You know, I'm not gonna lie, with the season finale, I needed to take a little breather for like a day, drink some water, calm down a bit, gather my thoughts, because it was such a cliffhanger to end on. And overall, I have my thoughts on season 4. You have your thoughts, man. So let's jump right into it. Let's start with you, man. Overall, what did you think of season 4 of Raising Kanan?
It's interesting. I have some mixed emotions because, like, different parts of the season, I felt different ways. And when I first watched the season finale, I was like, damn, like, what are y'all doing? Then I kind of took a day to just kind of, like, take it all in. And I was like, I see what they're trying to do here. Like, with this season 5 renewal, they're really just trying to flesh out this storyline to kind of give us this big bang in season 5. So I'm like, I see what Sasha Penn is doing. I trust the writers. But overall, I thought it was a decent season. I don't think it was as good as the previous season though. But I thought it was solid.
Yeah, I agree, man.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it for the most part, mainly because all the talent involved, that cast, they really carry that show as a unit, the chemistry they all have in one another. So I did enjoy it for the most part. I said all throughout the season, the first half was really shaky in my eyes. The first half was really shaky. But the second half, you kind of got that sense of the direction of where they're going to go. And then the season finale, it was, you know, nothing was
Nah.
like resolved, no true resolution. Really did feel like a filler season to set up for season 5 in a way. But like you said, you kind of get a sense and you have an idea of where they're trying to go with season 5. And that's why I feel, we got season 4. It's easily the weakest of the 4 seasons, in my opinion. But I feel like they know exactly where they're trying to go and how they're going to end this series as a whole. Because in Sasha Penn's statement when they announced that season 5 would be the final, he said like we're going to make sure we tell a complete story first and foremost. So you have your ending in mind, where these characters are gonna go. So I have faith in them for season 5. So season 4, you got to bite the bullet for what it was, man. I think we're being set up for something special, and I feel they're actually going to do what I wish the OG Power did was tell a complete story and focus on this story first instead of trying to just build to spin off. So I feel we're safe from them just season 5 being a complete build to Power Origins in a way.
Great. Great.
Man, so like, we was hyped for the season all year long. Like we was talking for like the last few months, like at the top of the year, like hyping up like, yeah, Raising Kanan, Raising Kanan. Do you feel like it necessarily lived up to the hype in your eyes? Would you say?
Not really. Not really. Not really. I don't really think it's their fault though, because you don't really see a show get early renewals like that. So I feel like when they got that early renewal, things probably changed, like the direction and into where they wanted to go. Now you know you're not in a rush. Like I look at Power Book Two Ghosts, right? Like they
Mhm.
got canceled out of nowhere. You could tell the story was kind of rushed. It wasn't really going anywhere because they didn't have another season to kind of wrap things up. Whereas Raising Kanan, like Sasha Penn said, he always aimed for 5 seasons. This is exactly what he wanted to do. So I took it for what it was. I think there was some good moments. Like Jukebox's development, and some of the different storylines that were going on. So it was cool, but it definitely didn't live up to the hype. It didn't live up to the
Yeah, I agree. Not necessarily like the hype,
hype.
I'm like, it's just that feeling like I'm just happy we got the show back because it just felt like it's been so long since we've been with these characters because we didn't get a season at all in 2024. So just finally being back in the 90s with young Kanan, the Thomas family, it just felt great to be back, even though you didn't necessarily enjoy the season quite as much as the previous seasons. There was some really key highlight moments, which we're going to get into right about now. And you mentioned it right off the top, and we can start off from here, man. The big one of the biggest top highlights for me, probably for you too, is like you said, the development of the character of Jukebox and how she's just evolved so much from season 1 up to now and where her mindset is. And Haley Kilgore, she just absolutely just kills it in this role. I love her in this role of Jukebox Man. So let's talk. Like, what's some highlights from the development of Jukebox? Would you say that you truly enjoy the most?
Honestly, probably when she told those military dudes off, like that's kind of where things started to fester, where you're like, oh, well, Jukebox is kind of taking a different direction, and she wants to be in the game. Like she wants to be like her dad, she wants to be like her family, and that made the story way better. Like that kind of made it for some of the other stuff that was shaky. And
Yeah.
I mean, she's just a great actress too. Like the way that she kind of flips the script, like when you see her interviews in real life and how like kind and sweet she is, and then you see Jukebox, you're like, wow, like she makes a real transformation. So I definitely think that in that first kill that she caught was insane.
Yeah, that first body for me was like one of them ones because it felt like we were waiting for this moment to happen throughout the past seasons. Like it's only a matter of time before she pulls that trigger, and when it happened, you truly feel like the moment was earned because you just see like she's eventually going to be leaning towards like what her family does, and just that smirk at the end of the episode when she caught that body, that was the
Yeah,
icing on the cake. Like, I really want to know, like, who made the call to have that little smirk, whether it was the director of the episode or was it Haley. I'm really curious because that was a nice little touch to it all. And like you said, that
facts.
conversation with the military dudes, how she told them off, even though, like you said, we didn't necessarily enjoy the season finale as much. The moment that conversation she had with Aisha was very telling, and then it just explained the
Mm,
whole mindset of why Jukebox decided to stay in New York, and just that relationship with Marvin and how it's evolved from season one up until now to where you see they had that big crazy ass fight towards the end of season one up until now to where she's like, that's my dad. I love him. I can't leave him. I don't want to because he never left me. And that was just a beautiful moment. And then just their conversations as well. So it makes me want to ask, like, how do you feel about the journey between the relationship between Marvin and Jukebox? What's your thoughts on that?
well, I love it. Like the way that it started off was crazy. Like I never really seen nothing like that on TV, for real, for real. Like the way that their dynamic was insane. It made sense because of the time period and them not really understanding like sexuality and things of that nature. But Martin was wild. Like when you talk about how much he's changed, and I seen London Brown like in the interview, he was talking about how like he didn't think that he could have played this role 10 years ago because he didn't have like the empathy
Mm-hmm.
that he has now. And you can see it on the screen. Like the evolution of these two characters together has been great. I love it. I love it. They're probably two of the best parts of this show. Their relationship is always good to see. Like they had some really good scenes. I actually have a question for you though. You kind of mentioned that scene with Aisha, right? Do
Mm-hmm.
you feel like her talking about like wanting to stay for Marvin? Do you feel like that's kind of foreshadowing his death?
Ooh, I'm glad you asked me that, man, because once I saw that conversation, like I got a little tingly sense of my stomach. I was like,
Mm,
shit, oh shit, oh shit. I got scared, like,
facts.
is this gonna go down in this episode? I'm like, in my mind, when I saw that, I was like, if this doesn't go down in this episode, this shit is definitely happening in the season
Yep.
finale, in the final season. Because it's really like you really see just those touching moments with Marvin and like just how he's looking like basically is the godfather to Gerald's daughter, essentially in a way. You really see in those moments, like even through the ups and the downs, like you just feel like it's building us up for that moment because with Jukebox and how her character is evolving, and we know how cold and calculated she is. What's that moment that's gonna just officially just break her for good?
It has to be.
So it's essentially in a way like that moment has to happen, and it's just gonna be such an emotionally moving moment when it happens. I don't know why when I think of Uncle Marvin, just real quick to touch on this, I don't know why I'm thinking like the Uncle Jerome death in Snowfall, like how it's like just slowly building up to it, like you just get that sense. Like I kind of get those same kind of vibes. Like you get what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Especially because he's been getting away with so much, it almost feels unrealistic. It's like, when are you gonna pay for the stuff that you're doing? Especially with the mob stuff, with the Stefano storyline. I'm like, bro, they gonna get you eventually, bro. If it's not now, it's gonna be later. Yeah.
Well, at the same
I'm not
time, you
looking
never
forward
know.
to
He
that.
could end up getting some fucking plot armor like Tommy does because he had
Yeah,
mob issues too with OG power.
yeah. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. I'm curious to see how it ends for him because I just don't see Marvin going to jail. I don't see that. Like he's not rocking. He's not rocking.
I see it in a situation, like how considering family members, how Kanan, how he was like an OG power. I ain't going back to jail, so I'd rather
Yeah,
die on my sword. I could see it being a
facts.
scenario like that as well. Like, what do you think is like? I think we're both in agreement. Like, the end goal is like, yeah, Marvin is not going to make it out. Like, how do you see the future outlook is for Marvin and what direction they're going to take with him moving forward?
Well, it really just depends because, like, kind of like Jukebox said, she wants to stay for her dad.
Hmm.
So if she wants to stay for her dad, it's likely because she doesn't trust him to survive, to handle himself. So there must be something coming. There must be something lingering. And I just feel like all the Thomases are on the chopping block, especially now that Kanan and Breeze are linking up and he's kind of moving further away from his family. It
Hmm.
doesn't look good for any of them at all.
Man, so since we already talked about the Thomas family, man, let's before we get to the big dog, let's talk about Lulu. Let's talk about Lulu, man, because he had quite a little journey himself, and that's a highlight I will say I did love. Like the individual stories, like of the family members, just the Thomas family. Those storylines all worked for me all throughout the season. Like the family dynamics and like how Joyce, how they were dealing with that, all that stuff worked for me. So even with Lulu, man, like let me ask you, how do you feel about how his journey is? Like how he started off getting out of rehab and fully embracing who he is and his role with his family. Like, how do you feel about Lulu?
Well, first off, Malcolm Mays is one of the best actors on the show. They don't be talking about it enough. Like he's really, really, really good. And I like his storyline honestly the most because it's the most realistic. Like him going to rehab is so realistic, bro. Like the demons that you fighting off from living that life and having that relationship with your sister where you feel like she's taking over and she's bossing you around. It's like that was real. So seeing him get out of rehab and then kind of like accept who he is and then want to step back in, I loved it. And I think that's the best version of Lou. I always think if Lou's in his right mind, the family's gonna operate at his best.
Yeah, because he's that cool, calm, collected, like
Yep.
in a way, like how Monet. You know how like Monet looked at Tariq and he was like, "You're my thinker." I kind
Yeah.
of get that same kind of sense when it comes to Lulu. Like he's the thinker.
Facts.
Like let's plan this out. Let's move in a smart way. And the highlight of the season, I don't know why, is this scene is just when like Rock had gathered them all together, let them know Unique was alive, and how he just propped up and like was ready to pop off at me. No, we gotta make this thing dedicated. I don't know why that was the highlight moment for him this season for me. Like, what was the highlight for you for Lulu? I'd say this season.
I would say it's when he caught those bodies. Jumbo. Like I was like, bro, like, because it was funny because when he had that interaction with those two guys, I was like, you guys have no idea like who you're talking to.
Man,
Like this is Uncle Lou. Like he's been chilling because he doesn't want to revert back to that. But now you kind of forced his hand. So seeing him step back into that, and it was like it was gonna happen eventually. Like all
mm.
this music stuff was like, bro, how long are you finna be legit, bro? Like this not who you are. So
And
seeing
then
him
you're
step
just
back into
surrounded by
that,
it all in New York still.
yeah, like it's hard to deviate from what you grow up in, especially when everyone in your family is doing it. You're kind of gonna fall into that too. So I loved it. I loved it. Lou's my guy. That's my guy.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Malcolm Mays because, like you said, we always be talking about Uncle Marvin, because his storyline is so strong. We love him as a character, man.
Yep.
We gotta make sure we give that love to Malcolm Mays, Lulu, because and the way that he portrays him, his performance as Lulu is just so. It's like it's a gravitas, like a swoop to him, like how he's just so smooth with like his whole demeanor, like how he's the way he pronunciates, the way he speaks in certain scenes just overall, I just love how he brings that character to life. How did you feel about the storyline with him and B Rilla overall this season?
It kind of grew on me. It kind of grew on me. I really didn't like B Real at first, mainly because I was salty that they killed off Famous and
Mm,
they replaced him with someone that I didn't think was up to par as an actor, performer, character, quite frankly. But when you could start to when B Rilla finally came clean to Lou, I got a little bit more respect for you now because at least you came, You told the truth. Now that we can handle it. So, and he came through for Lou at the end when they, went to capture, Unique's girl and son. So I think that'll be interesting. I like it. I like it now. I like it.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you. Like it was, I was like, man, get this out of here, man. What are we doing? I was like, man, what are we doing? Like that conversation between him and the mogul, man. I was like, what is this? But yeah, he grew
Yeah.
on me like once he started to be more real and whatnot. And it was a bit of saltiness because of Famous now, and we can transition to that storyline too, because that was the Famous storyline has been a bit of a mixed bag. Like everybody seems split down the middle with that storyline as a whole, just because like it was just felt weird the way they went about it, just because in season three they ended it in a way where it's like they had him dead to rights, like, oh yeah, we got the gun, we got you
Yep.
pointed at the scene of the crime, whoop de whoop. And it seemed like it was like a battle for his life. So then once you like start the season off and then it's like nobody knows about his whereabouts and then it's like revealed like he's dead and that's dirty cops got to him. It just felt weird to me just because it felt like it deviated away from season three. I don't know, man. Like, what did you think of it overall with this Famous storyline?
Well, I thought it was sus before the show even aired. You know how they be doing like the promotion and things of that nature. Once they started doing that stuff, I was like, "Where's Famous at?" I'm like, we're not stupid. You know what I mean? Like I'm seeing Snaz and Pop on the board. I'm seeing Stefano. I'm like, "Where's Fame?" I'm like, "All right." Then we see the trailer. No Famous. Then they air that first episode, and they don't really show him. They only show him in a flashback. And I'm like, yeah, he's dead. Like something has to be going on behind the scenes. It's rare that you just see a major main character just disappear like that, and then he started doing like a bunch of interviews and stuff, and we kind of seen him speak on it and everything that's kind of been going on. It just sucked. Because like when you watching a show from the very beginning and you seeing characters from the very beginning and they just get killed off, like that shit hurt. That
Yeah.
shit hurt. I was like,
Because we're
damn, I
connected
felt
to these
Famous get that.
characters. So it's like TV
Yeah,
shows, you're watching them on a weekly basis. So you're spending time with them on a weekly basis. That's how TV works. Like you're really more so engaging with the characters on a weekly basis. So like you said, like we were
absolutely.
watching it from season one, and then all of a sudden, season four, like, oh, he's dead. It's like,
What?
it's like
And it didn't
man,
even bother me that they killed him off. It's just the way that they did it was so disrespectful. I'm like, there has to be something going on behind the scenes for you to
yeah,
get killed off like this, for your body just to be under a little trash can. Like, what? Famous? You know? And we never seen him physically. Like he wasn't even in the credits. So that
yeah.
told me like, all right, this is deeper than what we know. It taught me a lesson like this is what happens with all TV shows. Like there's so many things behind the scenes that we don't know about that manipulates the show. So like we can't always be mad at them because we don't know.
And your boy, shout out to Mark our TV man. When he made that video, it was like, was Famous really in that scene? It made me have to go back and double take that scene multiple times. I'm like, yeah, that is a double. He did not
Yep.
film no new scenes. That's a scene from back then, and everybody else, all like that whole scene, like everybody there, like, yeah, that's new stuff. The person that was performing on that stage, that was not Antonio Ortiz. That was definitely a
It's
bodyguard.
not him. Oh
So that it
God.
was like weird, and it's like, once he started doing his interviews and he started to clear things up, we still don't know like the exact reason. It was obviously like storyline reasons, but from what I pieced together, man, I got my tinfoil cap on a little bit. Is that he said like he found out like midway through filming season three, like that his character was dying, that he wasn't coming back for season four. And that's kind of like it sounds like the same time that Joey Badass was coming back on, like he changed his mind from what I gathered together. So it's like it could be something along those lines from what because they had to change up the entirety of season four. I don't know. Like you said, it's just weird like how they went about it. But I truly feel like those rewrites to write Unique's character back in season four, it definitely had something to do with getting Famous's character out of there in a way. Like I feel like, how do you feel?
I definitely agree with that, but it also begs the question of like why didn't we see him at all? Like they could have did a scene easily, filmed his death, filmed him getting shot, and then just like would have been 1, 2 scenes, and they would have moved on. To not even show his fit, to not even have him in the season at all. You don't see that like ever in TV. Like you don't just get written off without even getting like any type of like retribution. That told me that he did something. or they
Yeah.
did something and they was like, "Nah, you gotta go. You gotta
Yeah,
go."
because what's her name? In season 3, in episode 1, Detective Burke, she came back just for her death scene in that one
Yeah,
episode. So they
literally.
get it. And what's his name? Omar Epps. He was in the opening
Yeah,
episode where they had to go back
he
to
was in
season
it too.
3.
Yep, yep.
So yeah, it's definitely something else happening behind the scenes, but he can't speak on it, obviously. So it is what it is. But it was weird, just like him snitching on like dirty cops. It begs the question. It's like, well, how did he gain intel to snitch on dirty cops in the first place? And everybody knows he's not a
Yeah.
snitch. Just overall, the way they went about that whole thing was just weird. But he's dead. He was gonna die eventually, so it is what it is. And it was revealed that Snaps and Pop were the ones behind taking out Famous. And real quick, personally, on my opinion, once that reveal came up, I was like, you know what? I can rock with that. I can rock with that. And it was crazy because it was like none of us are theorizing this, and they're right there in our faces this entire time. So, how did you feel like about the reveal that Snaps and Pop were the ones behind taking out Famous?
I mean, if for the shock factor, I feel like no matter who they said it was, it would have just been like whatever because they took so long to reveal it. I didn't really
Mhm.
care at that point. But Snaps and Pop doing it kind of confused me because I'm like, what? How is Famous going to affect your business? Like, what is he saying that's going to directly affect what you're doing? You know what I mean? But then you start to look at like how they're manipulating Kanan, and it kind of starts to make sense why they would take out his best friend. So it makes sense. But overall, like, I was mad regardless. Whoever they said killed Famous, I would have been pissed off. But now that you see Snaps and Pop storyline growing, I'm like, okay, I see where they're going.
Mm. I feel like Prince and
Yep,
Pop are honestly two of the best character additions to this show, period. Once they were introduced in
absolutely.
season 3, it felt like their presence alone and the chemistry between Wendell Pierce and Erica Woods, it exudes on the screen, like just how in sync they are with those characters down to the outfits, the way they talk,
Yeah,
interact with one another, and they live up to their name. How Snaps is like the one who's cool, laid back, and collected. Pop is she pops off like she really pops
but
off.
yeah.
So like, how do you feel about the characters of Snaps and Pop this season?
Oh, I loved them. Oh, I
Mhm.
loved them. They're the best addition to this show, period. And like I seen Wendell Pierce in the Thunderbolts movie today. I was like, oh shoot, that's Snaps. I
I had to
was
look at
like,
the
oh
screen
shoot.
when I was watching. I'm like, is that one of
Yeah.
yeah.
He's killing. He's in a lot of stuff right now, so he's killing it. And one thing I like about him is he just has a unique voice, bro. Like I don't know what it is about his voice, but like he brings this energy and this presence that like it just works with the show. He has that old school gangster vibe. And the fact that they're actually together in real life, I
Mhm.
think that makes things like even more better because you can see the chemistry. So they're great. I think they're gonna play a huge role in season five.
Yeah, man. Like you said, how we found out that they're actually an item in real life. Once I
Yeah.
found that out the other day, I was like, that makes so much more
So
sense.
much.
So much sense, like just based off the chemistry and why those two were casted specifically. So yeah, man, like you said, though, they are two of the best character additions to this show, period. And how they are like, and what this show does a great job is like they really do a great job showcasing like their level of power, like living up to that
Mm.
name, title name of power, and where they stand across this entire chessboard and how they're manipulating everything. So, how do you feel about them and their relationship with Kanan in a way, and how they're manipulating him? Like, how do you feel about that going forward?
I think it's good for the show because first of all, you actually see how powerful they really are. I feel like last season we saw glimpses and bits of it, but we didn't really get like too much of them. But this season, like you really see like they're the most powerful ones on the board by far. And it's not even like about power, it's more so like the chess moves. They're just
Hmm.
smarter than everybody. Like they're just making moves without like they're the way they're like the crystal situation. They kidnap her and they find out who Kanan thinks killed Famous, and they use that against Kanan to manipulate him. And I'm like, damn. And it's easy because Kanan already hates his mom, and they already knew that going in. So it's like, wow, they're playing real chess. Like everyone else is way behind. They're really 5 steps ahead of everybody. So I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and it's like in the conversation too, like what Pop was telling Kanan, like she was like, in this game, it's all about who you know, and just them like expressing like their connects and
Yep.
contact. Going back to season three, of like Rock was trying to say, like, you don't know who I got behind me. It was like Stefano. Like he came to us first before he agreed to work with you. So if we told him to step off, we could tell him to step the fuck off. So you stay in
Facts.
your lane, essentially. I just love like because they do a great job. Like it's like how Power Book 2 Ghost failed with Noma. They are
Uh,
excelling with Snaps and Pop. Like I just like Pop's one-liners, man, just like in just episode two when Kanan was like, "Yeah, my debt is repaid," and how she just says like, "Man, you think we invested that money just to get the same shit back?" That's my favorite line of hers throughout this whole season. So yeah, man, they introduced Kanan to Bree. So like how we say like how big of characters and their presence is with this series and how big of a role they're going to have moving forward. Them introducing Breeze, I feel, makes a whole hell of a lot of sense. It fits with this story, and I just feel like it just elevates it instantly. We finally get to Breeze. So you know what? Let's talk about Breeze now. Let's talk about the
yeah.
world has been waiting for all these years. All of the speculation, all of the theories. This guy's Breeze. OC is Breeze. Unique is Breeze.
Oh my
We
God.
finally see who the real Breeze is, played by Shamik Moore, which it's crazy how people peeped that out with the rap party, how they were just able to point out like that's Shamik Moore right there.
Yep.
And it's like you just knew it's like because Shamik Moore has a name to him. Like, he's Spider Man, so you know if you're casting someone like him, he's playing a big role. So and then he's obviously revealed as Breeze. So how do you feel about the reveal of Breeze's introduction, and how do you feel about what he's going to be moving forward?
Well, the introduction itself I found to be underwhelming. And I actually made a video about this before, like earlier today. I don't really think it was anything that they did. I just feel like fans ruined it. Like they talked about him so much. When we actually seen him, I was like, okay, it's great. Now he's here. Now they can stop. And I had suspicions about Shamik Moore being Breeze because of the rap party stuff and like people made their theory videos. But overall, I like it. I feel like Shamik is perfect for this role. Like I've seen him in Wu Tang, he could definitely do this type of role, and he brings that presence. And I just think like, who else? Like, who else who could they have brought in? Like he's perfect for this. And I think now they're kind of showing us like, okay, now we're getting closer to origins because like Breeze is here. Now we're gonna see him and Kanan interact. So another thing I realized is like, damn. So Snaps and Pop are his uncle. They've been terrorizing Kanan's organization. When Kanan finds out that they did that, well, what's that dynamic going to be like? Because I want your aunt and uncle dead. So now there's a problem between me and you. I'm really curious to see how that's going to work.
You know, and like what you just said just now, I've been thinking about that the last couple of days because just like how he was like, man, it's just these old heads that call me that, man. And just once that reveal it all comes out, man, what I think, you could tell me how you feel like about this theory that I have. What I think is essentially what I think they're gonna try to do is like Kanan and Breeze, they're gonna build that camaraderie and that chemistry. And I think Shamik Moore is a fantastic choice for this role. He's gonna do phenomenal. He is perfect for the role. I love the choice. What I think this could be leading to is that Kanan's gonna find out the reveal, like the truth and everything. Shamik, he's gonna wanna like his portrayal of Breeze, he's gonna wanna elevate some more. And just based on that conversation, like how Breeze was like, yo, you about your business, man. We good on everything. And then Snaps is trying to come in like, well, hold on now. We don't have to agree to everything just yet now. It seems like from what I'm gathering, like Snaps and Pop, they're gonna try to want to control everything and have a big piece of the pie. And I think
Facts.
Kanan and Breeze, they're gonna want to try to take them out and take their place in a way. Like, what do you think of that?
Bro, I literally said that in the video that I posted like an hour ago. I was like, yeah, they're gonna because remember they mentioned them working with Unique and Kanan kind of had like a weird look like, what? Like we didn't really that wasn't the plan. Like you just introduced me to him. Now you're talking about unique. So I think they'll kind of piece things together and be like, well, we could just take out both of them. They're gonna take out unique, they're gonna take out snaps and pop, and they're gonna clear the board. And I think that's gonna kind of push Kanan just further and further away from his family and Jukebox. And I think that'll kind of, push him towards Ghost and Tommy. And the way they're setting things up, it'll be great. As long as they keep doing what they're doing and they don't get like, too emotional with the writing and try to please the fans, keep doing what they're doing. They're on the right track.
Exactly. And it's like we said, man, when it comes to Raising Kanan and how it just stands out from the other two spinoffs. Raising Kanan actually has a vision. Sasha Penn said that in his statement, in his note. He said when he pitched this, he envisioned 5 seasons. He knew the story that he wanted to tell and how it was going to play out throughout 5 seasons. There was actual a plan of what he wanted to do with these characters from point A to point B. Power Book to Ghost did not have any type of sense of direction of what they were going to do with Tariq. Force had no true direction from the get go. Its Force was just essentially, we still have the character of Tommy. Let's give him his own show because we got Tommy. Cancel Christmas, everybody. No, no. Raising Kanan has its own sense of direction, and you and gathering peace where they're trying to go just with each and every season. And I love that. And it's leading up to this point now where Kanan is straying further and further away from his family. And it's looking like the Thomas family civil war is essentially here based on what we've seen in that season finale. Now, how it's going to play out, we don't know. But it's definitely some type of civil war going on just based off the fact that Kanan pointed that gun at Rock alone. So
Yep.
overall, how do you feel about the division of Kanan and how he's straying further away from his family? What's your thoughts on that?
I think it was only a matter of time. Like from the very beginning with his relationship with Rock, particularly, she just did so much stuff to this man that some of it was his fault, but a lot of it was just things that she was doing and just like keeping him in the blind. I mean, she hurt this kid, like, you know what I mean? Like you asked him to kill his dad, you asked him to shoot his dad, then you actually kill his dad in front of him. I feel like all of the stuff that she's done, now that she's actually innocent, it's like, well, I don't believe you because you've done all this and there's evidence to all the stuff that you've done. So I think it only makes sense. I didn't really like the whole him pointing the gun at Rock and like, I've seen you made a video about that, and I've been saying this, like that certain storylines just don't need to be repeated. Like you could kill off Rock, that's fine. But Kanan don't need to be the one to do it. I don't want to see a son killing his mom, particularly a black son killing his mom. I don't want that story being told on television. That's just not it for me. So hopefully he didn't pull the trigger and they just try to trick us. But I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's just especially just a black mom that just, she's crazy as fuck in everything that she's
Yeah.
done to this young boy, and she doesn't realize and hasn't took a responsibility. And Crystal called her out about it. But at the end of the day, she loves Kanan. Like that has never been denied whatsoever. Her love for Kanan, and that's why I love this show. That it's built on that relationship between her and Kanan, and that's where this show just thrives the most. So let me ask you, like, with this relationship between Rock and Kanan, do you feel that Rock should have taken a bit of a Tasha approach with Kanan in a way? Like how it's like because she tried to like put him in the best positions with the schools and everything. Do you think she should have just outright just taught him the game just straight up, like, and went from there? Like, what do you think?
Well, I think it's really just about communication for her. Like, I don't even think the game was the main factor. I think the reason why Tasha and Tariq's relationship was able to work is Tasha just didn't lie.
Hmm.
Like, she never really lied to Tariq when you go back and watch. Like, Ghost was the one who was always like, no, he don't need to know about our past. Da, da, da. Da. Tasha was the one like, no, we need to tell him because that's going to build trust with our son. And he's not going to go behind his back and do dumb stuff. Whereas Rock, she's taking the opposite approach and she's just be lying about stuff that you don't even need to lie about. You know what I mean?
Like
And
the
it's
deck
like
of
if
what,
you're in
man?
the
The
game,
deck of crap.
Scrappy, yeah, I think that was a big one that like had Kanan like, damn. Like the D was one that was Kanan's fault. I don't fault Rock for that. That's on Kanan. He shouldn't have. He shouldn't have been involved in all that stuff. But
Yeah.
everything else is like, what you lying for? Especially if he's gonna be in the game anyway, you should be the one teaching him. You should be the one being honest with him. And I think she tried to a little bit in the beginning of the season when they met with Snaps and Pop. She was
Mhm.
trying to kind of give him some game on like, oh, these people are dangerous. But since then, they've kind of been divided. So she's been a bad mom.
Yeah.
Crystal called her out, like you said. So it's kind of too late at this point. It's too late. It's too late.
You touched on, like, what I've been feeling and what I've been saying in some of my videos as well, like, it's the communication part. That's what it is. It's like, portray yourself and you explain some of your actions to your son matters. Like, she's approaching him more so, like I said, too much from just a business partner aspect and not more so from a mother aspect. And, you bring up that conversation in the beginning, like how in, like, the beginning of the season, how she's trying to game him, like, on Snaps and Pop, in which she turned out to be right in that regard. Like, she turned
Yep.
out to be right. Like, you gotta
100%.
watch out for that. But, when she said, like, when Kanan had brought, like, "You killed my father," do you feel, because we don't know, like, because months have passed by in between seasons, do you feel like maybe Kanan would have looked at things a little differently had Rock told Kanan, like, "Okay, look, the reason why I killed your dad was because he was gonna turn in Marvin. Like, Marvin was gonna get locked up." Like, do you feel like if she would have explained that and, like, elaborate that into further detail more, like, he would have looked at that differently and would have been like, "Okay, I understand." Like, how do you think?
Absolutely. I think he still would have been salty because at the end of the day, that's his father. But the problem with Rock is like she doesn't really give real reasons. She just says, "Oh, I had to do it." Yeah, but why? Like
Mm,
this is a young kid who lost his dad, who was actually starting to build a real relationship with his dad, and they were starting to get a little close. I think if she sat down and had that conversation and like gave real reasoning, like, "Oh, he's trying to turn in your uncle, we can't trust him," then he probably still would have been mad. But he's like, "Okay, I see where you're coming from. At least you're not hiding shit from me." But you just say, "Oh, it had to be done." Like that's
mm,
not enough for him. He's a 17-year-old kid who just lost his pop. So that ain't gonna work. And like you said, she looks at it like a business relationship and not as a mother and son relationship. So like when she says she loves him, it's like, well, he doesn't feel that way. You're contradicting your love for him by lying. We hate being lied to. I mean, that's just anyone, any family dynamic. When people lie to you, you're like, I can't fuck with you no more. It's just what it
yeah.
is.
Bro, for what?
Yeah, like what are you lying for?
Yeah, I think where Rock failed as a mother, like, where it was pivotal where she failed, whereas when as soon as Famous died, like, I feel like she was not there for Kanan right there. She kept on telling and diverting, like, "Watch out for him, make sure he don't do nothing wrong," to, like,
Yeah, like
Jukebox.
what?
And Jukebox called her out, like, "You always, like, come to me, like, when it comes to Kanan in a way." And, like, I feel like that's where, like, she really failed. Like, maybe Kanan could have looked at her, like, differently as a mother if she, like, really just was like, "Get the little nigga a hug." Like, we haven't seen her just outright just go up to him and try to just hug him, like, right then and there when they was all gathered together in Cafe Food. Like, you didn't think to just grab your son, like, "I'm sorry, for your loss," something along those lines. Like, how do you feel? Like, what do you think, like, my thought, like, right then and there in that moment is where she failed the most?
I agree. That would have been a perfect moment for her to solidify her relationship with her son. Like all
Mhm,
she had to do was just be there for him. She didn't really have to say too much. Just get the dude a hug, talk to him about it, see how he feels. Honestly, if she did that, I don't think that he'd be pointing the finger at her the way that he is now. And I don't think this Snaps a Pop would have been able to manipulate them the way that they have been. I mean, they even said it. They were like in the meeting, they were like, "We can see that your devotion to your mom is iffy." They exploited it. And even Jukebox was saying, like, yeah, like they have motive. Like these old people, they're not just doing this for no reason. Like they're trying to get ahead. So Rock definitely messed up. She's had in 4 seasons, she still had another opportunity to get close with her son. And she fumbled that. So putting it on Jukebox, I just I didn't get that. Like, what the fuck is Jukebox going to do? You're his mom. Like, come on now.
and you see, like, and then it's like, too, with Jukebox, you could tell, like, and you understand to the point where it's like she's kinda getting fed up. It's like, "Bro," and I love that scene where she was like, "Kanan grown. You
Yeah.
can't you can't, like, play him like he's stupid in a way." And I love just, like, how they've been using Jukebox, like, the evolution going back towards that and just how she's evolved. And the conversations with Rock and how she just elaborated and explained, she was like, y'all think I wasn't just sitting there watching. I was sitting there watching y'all the whole time. And it was just
Facts.
very powerful to just see. And you just really just see like watching y'all actions, just seeing what y'all have been doing from the get go. And y'all haven't been owning up. And just the one line where it was stuck out to me the most is when she told Rock, she was like, you're so focused on winning him over, and you should be focused on the fact that you're losing him. I was like, mm,
Mm.
what did you think like about Jukebox's press role in that relationship between Kanan and Rock?
I feel like Jukebox is that one family member that just is blunt. Like they just call it how it is. They see it how it is. And it's like if Jukebox is telling you, Jukebox who didn't really talk like that, who's just very laid back, if she's telling you like you're losing your son, you should probably listen. Especially since she's the closest one that Kanan, the only one that Kanan really trusted like that, outside of like Crystal. I feel like Rock should have taken an understanding to that. And I mean, Jukebox, like she been saying it all season, like he's not a kid no more. You can't keep manipulating and lying to him and think that that shit gonna work. Because as kids, we grow, we learn. We watch our parents, we watch our family members, we see what they do, and we see what they say. And if it don't match up, we lose respect for them. That's just how it goes. So, Rock, losing your son is that gotta be the worst thing that can happen to you. Like the street stuff is alright, that is what it is. But losing Kanan, ain't no coming back from that.
And then it's just well, since we losing Kanan, I guess we could go right into it, man. The big moment of season 4. That face to face between Kanan and Rock. I mean, you know, we seen like a moment like that was gonna eventually happen in a way. I feel like a moment like that could have been a lot more stronger and earned. The whole execution of it and the reasoning behind like what they gave Kanan, it was, you taking out everybody just so you could have me to yourself. It's like and that's the
What?
reason you give him.
Come on now.
Like, come on now. Like that's what you do, man. So let me ask, like, what do you think happened in that moment? Do you think Kanan shot Rock? Or do you think somebody else came in and shot Kanan and stopped him? Like, what do you think happened in that moment?
I don't think he shot her because if he shot her, they would have just showed that shit. The fact
Mhm.
that they blacked it out just tells me like something alternative happened. And I think there was a scene like before that where Jukebox was like rushing to make a phone call or something. I don't know who she called, but I think that could have played a factor. We also know that like Unique was looking for them, that was tearing up the Chinese restaurants and everything. So I'm not sure. And there was a moment where like it seemed like he even hesitated. Like he kind of aimed back the gun and then he pointed it again. So I'm not sure that he did. I don't think he did. And they've always talked about how the relationship between Kanan and Rock is the heart of the show. If Rock dies, the show is over. Period. There's no other story to tell. Just go on and do origins. So just the fact that they're having another season, I'm positive she's alive. There's footage of her filming in season 5. There's pictures of her filming in season 5. So I don't know who they trying to fool with that little article that came out with talking about Bettina Miller exits raising kid. What?
Yeah,
Come
they
on
actually
now.
changed the headline of that article too.
Yeah, yeah. I saw Mark Dark talking about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
They think we're stupid.
yeah. They're getting worked essentially. That's what's going on, and I guess the show's doing its job in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, I don't think she got shot. I think they would have shown it because as you were talking just now, you know what scene I literally just thought about?
Drake and Ghost.
No, not even that one. When Tommy shot Angela. How Tommy shot Angela and we saw it, and then it went to black and kept it ominous, like, oh, did she stay alive or not? Like you said, like if Rock would have really been shot, we would have seen it, and then it would have went to black. So
Yeah.
that's why I think something else had definitely happened. Whether it was Jukebox came in shooting or it was Unique and them came in shooting because they know where she lives, something else definitely happened. And like you said, if there's no Rock in this show, there is no show. There's nothing. Also, too, I said this in the video I made minutes before we came on here. you're not killing off the face of your show before your final season. You're not killing off the star of this show before your final season. Like I feel
Facts.
like if Sasha Penn would have came to the network and pitched like gave them the draft, like, oh yeah, Rock dies in the end, they would have looked at him like, this shit back could go rewrite this. Like,
Yeah,
no,
take
this
that
is not
back,
going
bro.
down. This is not going down at all. So yeah, I think she's definitely alive. She's definitely gonna have a pivotal, very major season just because she was going off on Marvin and then the interaction with Kanan. And she's just Tina Miller, man. Her performance is rock. Her face, just once that gun was pointed at her, you could just tell that was the look of a broken woman to where like she could,
Facts.
even if she had a gat on her, like she couldn't even pull it out. She's like, it's similar to like the Tariq and Ghost, like how Ghost was just defeated and just accepted his fate. It was kind of like that. So going off of that, like we both think like she's not dead and she's gonna be definitely alive throughout the whole season. Where do you think they're gonna take Rock and her character journey in this final season?
Wow, I don't know, bro, because people always talk about like the OG power and how like Kanan mentioned his visiting his mom, but I'm like, bro, Kanan was a liar. Like he
Yeah,
could have been lying. You know what I mean? I
it
take
can't
the
be
stuff that we've
retconned.
seen in the old, yeah, like I take a lot of the stuff that we've seen in the OG power with Green Assault because I've been telling people like the writers don't have to stick to that. Like Sasha Penn don't have to stick to what happened in the OG Power. This is his story. Like he can kind of alternate things the way he wants to. And I feel like Rock, like either way, it'll be good. Like if she survives, I'm cool with that too. If she dies, I'm cool with that too. If she goes to prison, I'm cool with that too. Her fate, to me, it doesn't really matter to me. It's more so about the others, like the Luz and the Marvins and them. But honestly, I hope she survives because like at the end of the day, she's just a mom trying to build a relationship with her son. Like she tried, but she doesn't really know what she's doing, which is what you see from a lot of parents who are raising a kid on their own. And in this life, that's magnified. So I definitely hope that he don't kill her. As long as he don't kill her, I'm cool. Anybody else could do it. Don't have Candy kill his mom. We've seen it too many times.
So when you say like how she's doing it on her own, she don't really know what she's doing. Do you think the fact of her not having no type of man in her life and her position just because she is the man essentially, she's the man and the woman. She's running this organization in man's world and raising up a boy. It's not like she's raising a girl; she's raising up a man, and she does not have no true man to help support her. So, like, do you think that has played a major role in why she's not that she needs to be?
Yeah, I do think that plays a role. I also feel like she has to be the mom and the father. So
Hmm.
it's like you got to find that balance between being there for your son and like also letting him become a man. And she's very hard on Kanan, which is making him the man that we see in the OG power. Like Kanan, he wasn't playing around. He didn't make excuses. He just got shit done. So I think his mom being the way that she is plays a big factor in that. But I also feel like just the rift and the lying and the inability to just be honest. And she probably got her own demons that she's fighting from her childhood and she's placing that on her son. So
Hmm.
she's just a broken woman, and she's in the streets, and she's a kingpin. So she has so many different hats, kind of like Ghost. Ghost was like 10 different things at once. So to throw being a parent into that, that's rough. That's rough.
Yeah, man. That's why I say you can't be in this game and having a family. That's why I mean it made this
Hell no.
it made sense with Power Book Two Ghosts is Tariq saying I'm not gonna have no family or nothing because you can't have no emotional connections. I mean that makes sense. And then you see that. So man, my prediction for Rock, man, and it's my hope, but you know what? I'll put money on it. I do think she'll make it out in the end. I do think she survives
Mm,
the events of the final season. I really, really do. I'm stuck between I can't see her going to jail for some reason. I can't see it. I think
me either.
it might be a case where she leaves New York. I really, really do think that's what it's gonna be because I can't see her going up against her son. I can't see her going up against Kanan at all in the streets and being in direct competition against him. I
Yeah.
can't see that being the case. I definitely do see a little bit of a redemption arc, you know, since it's within the Power Universe. It's probably not the same. They do their own things, but how Monet in season 4 was having a little bit of that, like, redemption, premonition, just looking back on her own life and everything. I feel like we're heading a little bit towards something along those lines of Rock and her trying one last time to fight for her relationship with Kanan. I think that's where we could be headed. I'm not sure. What do you think? Do you think we're heading for a bit of a redemption arc for Rock?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's time. I think it's like she deserves that. After 4 seasons of having your son hate you and just the whole back and forth, eventually that storyline has to stop. Like eventually you gotta move on and either end the relationship or evolve the relationship. Because the first 4 seasons has been the same thing. Rock does this, Kenny gets mad. Rock does this, Kenny gets mad. Kenny does this, Rock gets mad. I think now it's like, well, Rock gotta get some redemption. I feel like the more redemption that she gets, the more I'm gonna feel like she's gonna die. Because it's just like, well, what's gonna happen after that? Like Kanan losing his mom will be I think, the final straw. Even no matter what's been going on, he still loves his mom. Like you could tell. You could tell. Like we seen that last season with him, taking out Ronnie for her. I don't think that that love is just gone now because of some accusations that Snaps and Pop made with the zero proof. So I think she's definitely on that redemption tour. And if she does get shot, I think that's even more of a reason for her to get redemption.
So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. Damn it, I lost all the train of thought of what I was just gonna say just now. But yeah, Rock is I think we're definitely headed for a bit of a redemption arc in a way to so let me damn it was right there on my mind. I don't know where he'll come back in a moment. But yeah, this with Rock, man, what do you if you had to choose for Rock's journey to end, what would you predict? What would you rather see? Would you rather see her leave New York altogether, or she makes a sacrifices herself at Canaan in some type of situation?
Yeah, I think sacrificing herself to save Kane will be a noble death.
Hmm.
I think it'll be a noble death, and I feel like she always talks about how much she loves him and how she does things to protect him. Well, that would be the final proof, kind of like Monet. Like she went out and took those bullets for Kane. So that proves like, okay, she's really a mom. She really loves her kids. She really is willing to make those sacrifices. I think that would finally get Kanan to see that his mom loves him, but in the same fashion, he's losing her.
Hmm.
So he don't get that validation in that relationship. So I think that'd be either that or she just leaves New York. Because I don't want to see her die. Because I feel like that's a character that who knows, maybe she could pop up in Origins. I just want to keep seeing Patina on screen, honestly. I'm biased. Keep her forever.
Yeah. You touched on something that I was gonna definitely ask you along the way, and really quick,
Yeah.
because it would be a bit of a beautiful, like heartbreaking moment if Rock was to sacrifice herself to save Kanan in a way, because from the very get go in the pilot episode, Kanan made it known like he wanted to get into the game, not for the thrill or the love of the money of it. He wanted to join to protect his mom at the end of the day. And it
Facts.
goes back to what the show is about, the relationship between a mother and a son. And so, I just feel like man, we needed to be in the writer's room after all, or Sasha Penn just got it. So we really, I think we may be on the money that it's either going to end with Rock leaving New York or she sacrifices herself for Kanan in a way. But if Rock was to survive the end of Raising Kanan season 5 and leave New York, do you think? I mean, we're going like way future than like type predictions now on this one. Do you think she could possibly make like a cameo appearance in like a Power Origins in a way? Maybe something along the lines of Kanan ended up to the point where Kanan gets locked up and she goes to visit him in jail. What do you think?
Mm. Yeah, I would like that. I feel like anytime you do a show like this, if you can have characters from the main show pop back up later, it'll just give more nostalgia. And it'll keep viewers like involved. Like if people know Rock is gonna make it to Origins, they're gonna tune in. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? They're gonna be more inclined to watch. So that'd be cool. That'd be cool. And that'd give us a chance to like see her interact with the other characters, like maybe Ghost and Tommy and Tasha and stuff like that. So That'd be cool. I feel like she's just such a good actress, bro. That's like I can't see her getting killed off. Like that's why I can't see her dying this season because you're not telling me that Sasha Penn changed the whole show for Unique, but he gonna kill off Bettina Miller. Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
I think the network execs, I think they would veto that shit immediately. Just
Immediately.
as soon as they see that draft. But yeah, let's go into the Thomas family and like how we think they're gonna play out in season 5. Out of the Thomas family, honestly excluding Jukebox and Kanan, we know they make it out. Out
Yep.
of all of them, who do you think is the most likely to be able to make it out of season 5 and possibly make appearances in Power Origins? For me, I think it's Lulu, honestly. That's just me. What do you think?
I think it's Lou. I think it's Lou. Because Lou never really wanted to be in a game like that. You
Mhm.
could tell. You know what I'm saying? He acts like he does. But I mean, just seeing last season, everything that it put him through, and like the fact that he came back only really to protect his family, it just shows like this isn't who he is. And he has an outlet, which is music. So he has something outside of the game that he can actually kind of tap into. Rock and Marvin, like all they have is the streets. They don't have nothing else to kind of fall back on. You seen Rock try to go legit, didn't work. She jumped right back into the game. Lou would definitely be that person I think could make it out. Marvin, I don't see any way he's making it out. He got to die. He just has to. He just has to.
London Brown
Yeah.
himself would even say that too.
Oh yeah. If he
Yeah.
doesn't, he's lying. If he doesn't,
No,
he's like he's just biased.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think he be he part of the game, so he knows and he keeps in tune. I think they all keep in tune with their characters, man. So season 5, man, season 5, like, how do we see season 5 playing out for some of these characters? We haven't even talked about Stefano and the Italian mob and that whole situation at all. Like, how do you think that shit is going to play out going into season 5? Because that's definitely something like that's going to play a major part of season 5.
Well, I really just think it depends on how the Thomas family is, like as far as are they together? Are they
Hmm.
a unit or are they separate? Because I mean, they've been talking about how Stefano can't be trusted and they need to take him out. So I think they need to definitely get rid of him. But they're saying he survived that stabbing, so that's going to be very interesting to see how that plays into it. But I think ultimately, if Kanan and Breeze are on the same page, I don't see nobody really messing with them. I feel like they just about to take over. Like they with snaps and pop back in them. I mean, who's touching them? It's gonna be tough.
And then unique into the mix too. Man,
Yep, yep.
this war, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Where I think this could be playing out, but Stefano did say like at the end, like, "Oh no, I'm done with him. I'm done with the Thomas family," but he still had like some afflictions for Rock in a way. What I think
Yeah.
is gonna be a situation where like remember how he pulled up on Rock at our house in season 3, it was basically forced her to like take out Sal. I think it could be a situation where he's like, "Nah, strap up. We going to war with Jersey." What do you think? Like, do you think he's gonna try to force their hand to set them up to go to war against Jersey and Unique?
I mean, I think he could try, but what did Rock say? We're not fighting your war. Like we're not
Mhm.
doing your little proxy war. And they already told them off. So you're gonna double back and come back and say that you want to work with us now after everything that you said, after trying to pin Marvin and Rock against each other. We don't trust you. So I see them taking him out. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
in reality, I mean, it really comes down to the whole Unique thing. I think Unique is more of a threat than Stefano is. I feel like if they really want to get rid of Stefano, he can go. He can go. We don't care about Stefano.
I honestly don't see Stefano making it past mid-season. I honestly
Yeah,
don't
he
see him making it
shouldn't.
past.
He shouldn't. Tony Dennis is great though. He's great. I like
Oh,
him
I
a
love
lot.
him in
Yeah,
Stefano. Like he makes me love the Stefano
yeah,
character just with his performance.
yeah.
The one character I just have not been able to figure out what they're going to do with him or how his character is gonna play out once it's all said and done is unique, man. I can't seem to figure out what his role is going to be. Like, I'm just spitballing ideas in my head. Like, could it be a possibility where Rock and Unique are forced to get back onto the same page somehow, some way to take out all of the Italians. A la
Mm,
like how Ghost and Tommy in the final season, they had to like force to work together. They realized like we got to take out Jason. It could be something along those lines. And then another thing too that has to be brought up too that I'm surprised wasn't brought up in the season finale was that abortion. Like that has to be brought up sometime along
facts.
those lines.
Yeah.
Like let me gather your thoughts. Like, what do you think in regards to Unique? What have you think his character is headed?
I mean, it's hard to tell because he shouldn't be here to begin with. Like, he's supposed to be
Yeah,
dead, really. Yeah, and I said in one of my videos that he should have just stayed dead because the whole the whole storyline with him and Rocket, it's not compelling. He just looks dumb because we all know as the viewers that she didn't do nothing. She knows she didn't do nothing. Even Pernissa told him, like, I don't think she did this. Everyone around him is literally telling him. Even the Phil Russo was like, I didn't hear that in the streets. I didn't hear Rock made a move on you. So like he's just in his own little world, like obsessing over Rock. I didn't really like all of that, like that whole obsessing over her storyline. And even Kanan confirmed it by telling him, like, I took out Ronnie. I
yeah.
did.
You made a video about that too.
Yeah. I'm like he said he'd do it again. So that literally that gives Rock an alibi. Like she didn't do it. She didn't try to get at you. So I could see them making them work together again. I really hope they don't do that because it'll be cheesy.
Yeah,
But I could see that happening. You could tell he still cares about her and vice versa. So I could definitely see it happening. But the way that Snaps and Pop are kind of talking about Unique, I feel like he could be on the way out. They might use him for his little connects and stuff, and then he might get smoked.
yeah. Because I don't see a scenario where any of the Thomases take out Unique. I think it's a situation where Snaps and Pop are the ones behind Unique getting taken out in some
Yeah.
shocker fashion. Season 5 is looking like it's going to be a bloodbath from the way things are looking. Like it's looking like it's definitely going to be crazy. Power moves, the whole chessboard is going to be flipped upside down. It's looking like it's going to be just question marks for everybody along the way. And I'm excited to see how because we said, like I said at the top of the hour, Sasha Penn, he has a true idea and a vision for season 5, and that early renewal just said so much. Like, oh yeah, he knows exactly how this show's gonna end. Because any show that gets that type of renewal right then and there from the get go, they know like, okay, yeah, we got an idea how it's gonna end. It reminds me how our another show, famous show about the boys, how their renewal went about. It reminded me just exact same thing with that, and
Yep.
they get to season 5 as well. So it's gonna be definitely exciting. Rock potential redemption arc, Marvin and Jukebox, that relationship. And what do you think of you think Marvin is gonna remain loyal to Rock and whatnot in season 5? I think so too.
Yeah, I think he will. I think Marvin's just a loyal character. And he reminds me a lot of Tommy. He's a loving dude at heart. He might come off as a tough guy and things of that nature. But I think when it comes to his family, he's always going to be loyal. I mean, he had the opportunity.
Mhm.
Stefano pretty much gave him like the good go, like, yo, you can replace Rock right now. He was like, don't ever say that shit again. He was like, don't ever
Marvin
say that again.
believe it
So
dog, this whole
yeah,
season.
he's solid. He's solid. So I can't see him betraying his family. And I mean, you kind of seen it like in the conversation with Jukebox after him and Rock got into it. He still said, like, I don't think Rock killed Famous. Like, I don't see her doing that. She wouldn't do that. So he still got love for his sister. You know, they always gonna have their back and forth, but it's a family at the end of the day. So I think he'll stay loyal. And they need each other to be honest. So it's gonna stay solid.
Before we wrap, man, let's have a little fun with these last little topics. You know what time it is when it comes to Raising Kanan season 5. Towards the end of it, Sasha Penn even he was even asked about it, and you know it's only gonna get oh my goodness when we do our topic videos for season 5, it's gonna be brought up so much. Young Ghost and Tommy.
Hmm.
Do you think they are casted? Do you think they have casted our young Ghost and Tommy right now? And do you think we see them at towards the end of Raising Kanan season 5?
Oh, I think it's possible. I definitely think it's possible. Like the way that they showed Breeze at the end of this season, it kind of makes me think that they might have them pop up at the end of next season too. As
Mhm.
far as casting, I don't know, and I don't think they would even allow that to be leaked out because they want to keep that close to the vest. But probably they probably have some idea of who they want for those roles. They need to have them pop up, to be honest. I mean, that'll be a great shock value, and that's the best way to hype up Origins. And I know that Sasha Penn is also going to be in charge of that show, so
Yeah.
he's laid out the map for like years to come. He knows exactly what he's doing, so I'm very confident in what he's doing.
Yeah, because he said like they're gathering an idea of what the show is about. So what that tells me when he says something along those lines is that they're gathering a bit of the writers' room together, pitching ideas back and forth. Like, okay, if we're going about this show this way, okay, how are we going to keep it compelling on a week to week basis? Based on that, we know where the everybody ends up. So it's all about the journey through it all. So I think that's what it is because Stars hasn't given it that official green light 10-episode order just yet, but it seems like we're very close to that point. And for me, will young Ghost and Tommy appear at the end of Raising Kanan season 5? I'm gonna guess and say yes. I'm not only hesitantly saying yes, just because I get the feeling at the same time Sasha Penn he may want to like not include them at all whatsoever, just so the focus is strictly on completing this story of raising Kanan
Mm,
and keeping the
yeah.
focus on this relationship between Rock and Kanan and the rest of the Thomas family. And I think Sasha Penn, he knows he keeps in touch. I think he's gonna learn the lessons of Power season 6 and how that shit the final 5 episodes is just building to spin-offs, and it didn't necessarily feel like a true completion of the story. So I think there's a chance of him not including them just for that specific reason. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible, especially because people have been asking for it for so long.
Mhm.
You know, it's just a matter of like, are they casted already? Because if they're casted already, then they could have likely filmed that already. But if they're still waiting for things to be kind of green lit and they haven't had that cast yet, it's unlikely that we're going to see them. And people were saying, well, oh, maybe it'll be the people that we've seen at the end of the OG Power. I'm like, bro, that was like 6 years ago. Those people, there's no way they're going to use those people. They're much older now, and
Damn near
I
30.
really think it's yeah, they got to be. And I think it just comes down to like, at what point are we going to meet Ghost and Tommy? Are they going to already be in the game? Are they going to still be in school? Like, we don't know. And then we don't know where Kanan's story is going to end off in raising Kanan. So there's a lot of questions that they need to answer, but I think they'll get it done.
Yeah, man, and I think it's another thing too, like, at the end of Raising Kanan and then going into Origins, I think we see a scenario where we see a bit of a time jump in between the events. Like, I don't think it's just
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
jump, like, days later how Power and then Power Book to Ghost is, like, immediately jumps into the events right after. I think we see a bit of, like, a time jump. I'll say, like, maybe, like, a year or 2, honestly, after the
Yeah.
events of Raising Kanan. I think we're headed for something along those lines. But we know we got more spinoffs along the way too. What what
Yeah,
what's your
yeah.
uh, what's your thoughts on a potential spinoff, man? And what I don't know, are you getting comments in your comment section too, like, oh, a potential jukebox spinoff or a Young Rock Marvin spinoff? Are you getting those comments in your videos too?
Yeah, I definitely am. Yeah, especially because I had posted a clip where Courtney Kemp said that she had like thought about a jukebox spinoff in DC or whatever. They wasn't really rocking with that. Me personally, I don't think they need to do a jukebox spinoff. I don't think they need to do any more spinoffs with anyone in Raising Kanan. I think they're good off of that. But the spinoffs in general, like I'm a fan of. Like I'm gonna just tell people like this an easy money maker for me talking about power. So I'm always going to support as long as they're trying to tell a story. And as long as they keeping the same people that are writing these stories, I'm cool with that because they know what they're doing. And there's just nothing like power. Like there's nothing like this universe, and they say it never ends. So keep this shit going, man. I'm a fan. We love it, and it's a cultural thing now. Like it's a part of the culture. They can't stop now.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time before Origins gets the official green light. I feel like that's just if it is a chance, it's already greenlit right now. They're just waiting to announce it till later on.
Probably.
It
Yeah.
could be something along those lines because that happens a lot. You know, the exec at Star saying like they're excited for another spinoff that they're waiting to announce, man. So what do you think that potential spinoff could be that they're excited to announce? You know,
Well,
could it be the Julio spinoff? No, I'm just kidding.
nah, I hope not. I rock with Julio, but not that much. But it's crazy because they really teased like a couple spinoffs. Like they said Origins, which was already announced, and then they said another show that they haven't announced, and then they said there's like two other shows that they're also working on. So they work it. But people are saying it's the Tariq and Tommy show. I think that would be the obvious answer, considering Tommy said his journey is not over. So I think that could possibly be it. Or they could go left and completely do something else. They could just do a Tommy show with another location, and Tariq might not be in it because Michael Rainey Jr. claims he's tired of this role. I don't know if I believe that. You know what I'm saying? Them power checks is nice, so I don't know about all that.
You're the
But
face of the
yeah,
franchise, right?
yeah, definitely. That Tariq and Thomas show would be the only thing that I can imagine them doing at this point. Like that's going to be the big money maker. That's going to draw in the most views. And yeah, I mean that's all I can imagine. Other than like a Rashad Tate show, which I've said I've wanted for a while. I don't know if they'll give it to bro because they just be sleeping on him. But he deserves it.
I said it too when they first announced it when they was doing those spinoff announcements. I was like, the Tate spinoff, huh? Politics. I was like, that could be interesting.
Be
That's
dope. Like a House of Cards type thing.
yeah, exactly. And I
Yeah.
think that's what this franchise needs right now is something unique and fresh to deviate from everything else. So could do you think because there was a period of time where they was teasing a London spinoff, which that
Mm.
never really went anywhere. I feel like that was just like an idea they put on like a whiteboard, probably because they was watching something like Top Boy. I bet you that's where
Yeah.
that came from. So yeah, do you think we could be heading for a potential spinoff where it's an entirely brand new set of characters that we're introduced to, and then like have like some supporting players that have been appearing in throughout the Power Universe throughout showing up in that spinoff? What do you think of something along those lines? Because I said maybe they could do like a typical like you know how NCIS does like NCIS LA suits LA now
Mm.
recently. Do you think we
Yeah.
could be headed for like a Power LA something like that?
I can see that. I can see that. They might get canceled quick like they did Suits though.
That
They
suits
cancel
LA
that
was
shit
just ass.
real quick. Yeah, yeah, I couldn't even watch that shit. But I feel like it just depends on the budget for real. Like if they got the money to push these shows out,
Mhm.
it can happen, especially if they're casting all new people where they won't have to pay a lot of money like that and they're casting, young and upcoming actors. I definitely think they can make it happen. I definitely think they need a new location. Like as much as I love New York, it's kind of getting played out. Like they need a new area. Chicago was cool. I like seeing that. I definitely could see them doing like LA or maybe Atlanta or something like that. Like just a different scene. Yeah. They need that, bro. Because it just expands the universe and makes it more diverse. And I think that opens the door for new viewers, or they go to London, like you say. I mean, London would bring in a huge fan base, like
Mhm.
huge. So it just depends. They got the money. They got the fan base. Just do the work. It can't be that hard.
Let's
It can't be that hard.
we could do a spinoff set in the past in the Power Universe in the past with the universe of Raising Kanan. Now, stay with me now. Stay with me now when I pitch this. We can do a spinoff. Stars, you know, they in the house. They in the wheelhouse. You could have characters like a Lulu and all them. Crossover with BMF in Detroit.
Oh my God. You lost me at BMF. You lost me at BMF.
The power
BMF
of
does not
BMF
deserve any
crossover.
more. They do not deserve any more seasons of any kind. BMF is done.
You
It
don't
is
want to
done.
see, man, a potential young Kanan interacting with the big meats in the Southwest team?
It'd be interesting. It'd be an interesting crossover. But I don't know if they got the chops over there performance wise to hang with Kingdom. I
Well,
don't
you
know if
know,
they got that.
we got Broadway talent on this side.
Yeah, yeah, like for real though. Like for real though. I
Yeah,
think
no,
that's the big difference is like these people are like professionals. Raising Canaan got some professionals and BMF. I mean, they got some good people, but I think overall, it's hard to take them seriously.
And then when Mike and Gianni was doing their little Crew Hazard podcast, and they was talking to Da Vinci, there was a line like Gianni says just talks a lot, and he said like, man, some of the writers and the talent, man, they come over from BMF over to Power. They be saying like, oh, it feels so good, more structured and organized. When he said that, I just I was like, damn, is it
I
really?
believe him.
I do
I
too,
believe
because
him.
it's a well-oiled machine. And then he's like, it's a little ghetto on that
You
side.
can tell. That's like. I feel like if you're into television, you can see like the level of effort that's put into the production of the show. Like when you watch an episode of Power, you're like, okay, there's a lot of detail put into this. BMF is like it's a little bit lower budget, less quality. They don't take as much account into it. Maybe because the fan base isn't as big, so the expectations are lower. It, it ain't on the same level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. But that's it for me on my end, man. You got anything you want to add for this Raising Kanan season 4 recap, overall thoughts, what you feel about the season, favorite moment, or what you feel is to come in this final season?
All I gotta say is Rock ain't dead. I don't care what they say. They did this with Joey Badass. They tried to fool us. They brought his ass back. He ain't dead. They're not killing off Rock like that. They're not killing off Rock, period. If Rock dies, the show dies. As long as people get that, then they'll be good. And I think season 5 will be the best one yet. If they really do bring in Ghost and Tommy at the end, that'll just be icing on the cake. They got. I mean, they've already filmed it, so at this
Yeah.
point, it's just a waiting game. I mean, filming back to back shows is you don't really see that at all. Like they filmed within a couple months of wrapping the season 4, so that's huge. And I'm sure they did their thing.
Yeah, that's probably too, like another reason why that they was able to like get to like have everything set up and get to shooting that right then and there. Probably scheduling too, when you think about it, because
Yep.
that there's a talent on there. Wendell Pierce, we have him on set for a certain amount of time. Patina Mellon, she's still doing her thing. Haley Kilgore, so Joey Badass too. So I'm willing to bet a scheduling aspect went into it too. And then overall, they knew how they wanted to end the show, so they was like, yeah, let's
Yeah.
hurry up and just get the cameras rolling, man, and let's tell this story. But like you, I agree. I think season 5 has the potential to be the best season yet. It's giving me Snowfall season 6 vibes and how they were able
Yep.
to end that off on a perfect note. And I'm excited to see how it all wraps up in the end.
Yeah, I think 5 seasons is the sweet spot. I think any
Yeah,
more than that is like there's no need. Just just wrap it up. Give us a story. Don't give us another renewal just because it's good. Let it be what it is.
yeah, it just feels like just that round number, like that
Yep.
whole circle just comes together. That season 5 is that sweet spot. If you're gonna do a season 6, you better be like Snowfall. So I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Yeah. Good luck.
But man, my guy, Mr. Power, man. Mr.
Yes, sir.
Power, you killing it. You killing the game, bro. You took over TikTok, Instagram, now it's YouTube, man. Go
Hell
ahead,
yeah.
man. Let the people know where to find you, all your social medias, everything. Let them know.
Appreciate that, bro. Mr. Power Universe. You can find me wherever, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I'm not really rocking with Twitter because it's just way too negative on that app. Like it's too much negativity on there. But Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, that's where I'm at. And maybe we got a lot of stuff coming. We got a lot of stuff coming. We growing, trying to do some different shows, different stuff, and just having fun with it. As long as this shit is fun. Like this season was really fun. Like this was a lot of fun. A lot of people were tapped in, and like it's just fun, connecting with people, doing content like this, and seeing how much people really love television and film. It's a crazy world.
Yeah, man. Like you said, this season was fun, man, and we even got connected with the talent on the show. And
Oh
that's
yeah,
a
bro,
major blessing on
crazy.
both ends, man.
Yeah,
Shout
yeah,
out
yeah.
my guy on that one. But yeah, man, overall fun season. Can't wait for season 5. Definitely got to be back for the final season discussion. And I'm gonna say this right here and right now in front of this camera. Right here, whoever's out there, any exec, Lionsgate, Stars, 50 Cent, Sasha Penn, Mackay Curtis, London Brown, whoever's out there, me, Queston Fisher, my boy Mr. Power, my guy Nick,
Yes,
we
sir.
need those invites to the season 5 premiere. We need those entrances.
Absolutely.
We need that red carpet premiere.
Absolutely.
Come on now. Come
Absolutely.
on now. Come
I
on
don't know
now.
why it wasn't that season 4, but
Yeah.
that's a topic for another time. But season 5, I need that. I need that final season, and I need to be in that writers' room for Origins. I need that. I need that. I need that.
Listen, man, just
Hell
give me a
yeah.
little guest recurring role in Origins, and I'll be straight. Make sure
That's
you
it.
can give me a couple dollars. Make sure I'm able to have access to catering, and we good.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah,
Hey, as long as I'm on that cast, get them little residuals,
mhm.
I'm cool. I'm cool.
So yeah, we manifesting this, and we'll be on the lookout for those emails for our official invites to the season 5 premiere. Because best believe we gonna be there. But
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
man, overall, my boy, Mr. Power, man, thank you so much for joining me, bro. This was fun, man. This was hella fun. Man, you want to possibly get back at it for Force?
Absolutely. You know,
Hell
I'm
yeah.
locked in.
So
Yes,
you know
sir.
we're gonna be back at it for Force, man. Be on the lookout. Be on the lookout for his content on all his pages: TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. You know to follow me, man. Fish Flicks reviews on TikTok, YouTube, K.Flickflix, Instagram, man. Power never ends, y'all. Power never
Yes,
ends.
sir.
And we best believe we gonna be back for another go around. But that's all it from me and my boy, Mr. Power, man. Y'all have a blessed day, man. Power never ends.
Peace.
There it is. Yes, sir. It looks like we stopping and slowing and saving now.